Hey guys, today we're going to talk about what gerrymander is and how it affects our elections. I know that politics can be a very touchy subject, but I believe that it's important for us to know what is going on. So, what is gerrymander? According to the dictionary, gerrymandering is a US political term for when districts are drawn in a certain way, which gives one political party an advantage, while at the same time drawing fewer districts as possible for their opponent, giving them perpetual power. But who exactly has the power to change the district lines? Going back to our civics or American history class, we know that there are three different branches: the executive, legislative, and judicial. The one that makes the laws is the legislative. That's where Congress is. Under Congress, we have the Senate and the House of Representatives. The 435 representatives not only represent us, but also are the ones who have the power to change the district lines. The bigger the state, the more representatives they get. According to the Brennan Center for Justice at New York School of Law, district boundaries are redrawn every 10 years to ensure each district has about the same number of people, which is fair. As time passes by, populations grow, and their districts need more space. The goal here is to have representatives that will hold the same political views as their constituents.
Without a Mayor Quimby, our town would really stink. We wouldn't have a tire yard or a mid-sized roller rink.
We wouldn't have our gallows or a shiny Bigfoot trap.
It's not the mayor's fault that the stadium collapsed.
Quimby. If you were running for mayor, he'd vote for you. Paid for by the mayor, Quimby for mayor, mayoral committee.
Unfortunately, we have states like Illinois, Georgia, Louisiana, and North Carolina with district lines that go from one end of the state to another. Many people have pointed out that Illinois has a district that looks like earmuffs. This has gotten so out of hand that even comedians like John Oliver make fun of gerrymandering.
In fact, take that earmuff district. The thin line connecting the two halves is just a single road, and people love to make fun of that.
In Chicago, squeezed between two freeways, this narrow strip is needed to connect two halves of a gerrymandered district to keep it contiguous, as is required.
This is the way Congress gets around the contiguous rule, because there's obviously nobody living here. I mean, unless they're homeless people, I guess. Anybody here? Any congressional voters out there?
Now, you may laugh, but a few seconds later, an entire ghost baseball team from the early 1900s walked out of the tall grass and beat him to death with their ghost bats. And he kind of deserved it.
Then it got me thinking, who created gerrymandering? After looking at different articles about the subject, I wanted to find one that talked about its creator. And then I found this on our library. Back in 1812, the governor of Massachusetts, Elbridge Gerry, came up with a redistricting plan that carved his political opponents into voting districts, where they will have less ability to win. But there was something odd about the map. The new districts looked like a salamander. A local newspaper combined the words Gerry and salamander, and today we have gerrymander. Now that we know who created this whole mess, let's see how state legislators draw the lines.
Suppose we have a very tiny state of 50 people. 30 of them belong to the blue party and 20 belong to the red party. And just our luck, they all live in a nice even grid with blues on one side of the state and reds on the other. Now, let's say we need to divide the state into 5 districts. Each district will send one representative to the House to represent the people. Fortunately, because our citizens live in a neatly ordered grid, it's easy to draw 5 lengthy districts, 2 for the reds and 3 for the blues. Voila! Perfectly proportional representation, just as the founders intended. Now, let's say instead that the blue party controls the state government, and they get to decide how the lines are drawn. Rather than draw districts horizontally, they draw them vertically, so that in each district there are 6 blues and 4 reds. With a comfortable blue majority in the state, each district elects a blue candidate to the House. The blues win 5 seats, and the reds don't get a single one. Oh well, finally, what if the red party controls the state government? The reds know they're at a numerical disadvantage. But with some creative boundary drawing, they can slice the blue population up such that they only get a majority in 2 districts. So despite making up 40% of the population, the Reds win 60% of the seats. Not bad.
So what have we learned today? We've learned what gerrymander is, who exactly has the power to do it, how often our districts change, and who created it. I don't know about you, but I'm a little concerned on how this is still legal in our country. I hope that this information will motivate you to go out and vote on our midterm elections on November 6th. Remember, our future depends on it.